Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayush. I guess most of you know me, but for the people who don't know me, I'm one of the founding members of Growth Folks. Growth Folks is one of India's largest growth community. We have been operating in this space for like last 2.5 years, three. Uh, Having a presence in 9+ cities of India and having done close to 85 plus events throughout last 18 months, you can say we are on the right track to become one of the fastest growing community in India. Uh, we keep on doing a lot of events offline and online, but offline because of all COVID reasons, we have stopped doing it. But one thing is happening that we are coming back with an offline event soon in Bangalore, maybe in December. So that is something that you guys, like everyone who is from Bangalore, should be excited about. Talking about online events, we have already done close to 10 online events, and we have hosted few of the best people out there in the ecosystem. And this case is similar today as well, wherein we are going to see Sindhu taking us through everything and anything all around video marketing and viral content. So just to give you a little bit brief about what Sindhu has been doing lately and what he's up to. So basically, Sindhu is currently working as senior growth manager with Pocket Aces. He has been in the ecosystem for quite some time, and here is this description that he has given to me. So I'll just read it out for everyone. So he has been a founding member and marketing lead at social networking startup Together. Uh, he has been working as a digital market. He has worked with a as a digital marketer with Paytm Insider in events, movies, and app marketing space. He loves working with startups in B2C consumer space and is highly passionate about marketing. So one thing over here is that this is not the first time we are hosting Sindhu over here. Sindhu has already done an offline event in Mumbai, but a few lucky people only got a chance to visit the particular space and be a part of that event. But here we are, wherein Sindhu is going to take this session and going to take us through the basics and maybe few advanced stuff of video marketing and viral content. So glad to have you over here, Sindhu. Over to you now.
Thank you so much, Ayush. Great to come here once again and interact with you. As you said, the last time I did, things were normal. We had big plans. I guess Siddharth, my friend, is not here, but he was hosting the Mumbai chapter, and we were thinking, nahi, next Wala we will do somewhat around 100, and then COVID happened. But yeah, glad to meet all the 24 people out here. Especially, I'm quite like excited to see there are marketeers, but not fully marketeers people. You have founders, you have product people, which means it's going to be pretty exciting, which means we also have nerdy people here. And let me quickly share my screen, just do a very basic warm up about just making you understand why new media space I chose to be in right now to learn some new stuff, and what is the importance of it, and how the marketing has evolved from the old school stuff and all. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, just keep a note of it, which we can take after the session, and we're happy to chat and collaborate later. So yeah, my name is Sindhu Biswal. A very basic context is I have been associated with these brands, out of which 80% thing is luck, I would say. 20% is being at the right moment, at the right time, and taking right decisions. It is obviously hard work, but not 100% hard work. You all are more hard workers than I am. I'm dead sure. But I started my career by being a founding member of a social networking company. This was pre Chingari, pre big boom. That time there used to be only one Indian homegrown app, Roposo, that was killing it. But Roposo took a few pivot. And giving you a context about Together, we were building something very interesting. It was kind of a meetup kind of an app, and we were backed by Facebook Start program, NASCOM, Ernst & Young directors were our investors and all, which means I'm just giving you validation that we are building something legit. And then I left the startup. I chose to move to Insider.in, which is now called Paytm Insider, which is basically the events wing of Insider. So if you ever of Paytm, so if you ever have taken a ticket of IPL, ISL, Pro Kabaddi League, Martin Garrix One Plus Music Festival, then I'm the one who showed you the ads. If you guys reported the ads, then वो मेरे पास ही आया था वो data that hey, you are showing too much of ads. So I was doing that, and then I pivoted, and then I chose that I will work with Pocket Aces in the growth and marketing function, simplifying stuff. I work with content creators to understand how people are behaving. Second, to understand why people do certain things on social media, why people like, why people comment, why people share. And yes, if you ever have wondered कि morning में if you shared something on Instagram and if you think you shared Instagram because you wanted it to, fun fact, it is not like that. The content creator wanted you to share at a particular moment. That's why you did. So everything is psychologically engineered. One disclaimer: no one will ask me any questions about social dilemma because I'm not the one who is doing that. We all are in the same game, and we are all guilty of it. So yeah, let's start with the whole session. The things will become advanced and advanced further. Very basic question: what creates video virality? Why did this particular face become a big famous face in the Gen Z and millennial section, where none of you have seen this Delhi show soap? मुझे याद भी नहीं है ये soap का नाम क्या है. But you guys were very like excited when that whole thing happened. रसोड़े में कौन है? Now I'm completely sick of it. And the very basic understanding of video virality is by only one metric, which is shareability. If a content piece, if anything that you put out, it could be text, it could be video, it could be image, it could be any form, it could be a podcast. Until and unless it gets a lot of shares, it is not viral. Simple. Virality is not something that is a digital phenomenon. Virality always existed. Imagine yourself in the pre-online days, जहाँ पे आपके गली में कुछ something happened where someone has a new baby born or something else happened, किसी के घर में किसी की fight होगी. The mode of transferring of that whole news was year to year. And always remember, वो mode of transformation was exactly like the news headlines you have. When one dadima was sharing something to another dadima, the sentence framing was, तुझे पता है क्या उसके घर में नया बेटा पैदा हुआ है. This is exactly the news headline sentence that we use whenever a news headline is written and you click and you share. Similar insights लेके ही YouTube बना हुआ है, and all the YouTube thumbnails that you see, it could be about the world is ending. The headline is that, the thumbnail is also that. It is taken from that factor, and that's how you're psychologically engineered to generate shareability. Now, to generate shareability, we have seen a lot of emotions, and we have tried to come to a conclusion कि majority of the emotions are these emotions that evoke that shareable sentiment inside your head. But before that, थोड़ा pause लेके थोड़ा बात करते हैं that why as a marketer or as a founder you are listening to this videos. क्यों आपके दिमाग में questions आ रहा होगा that I have to hire a videographer, an editor, I have to build a production company, or I have to rent it out to someone else. Why should I invest that kind of money? First of all, we as marketers, we agree and we appreciate the Red Bull marketing. When Red Bull decided to not just be a energy drink, and the way they decided to go into marketing was by being a media business or by being into the content game, and they decided to go into the video content space. Red Bull ने नहीं बोला था I will play the SEO game. The reason is that SEO game वो crack नहीं कर पाता. That's why they decided to go into the media game. Now media game पे उन लोगों ने देखा that hey, energy drink could be associated with sports, with high power energy. Uh, any sport that is into high power energy, we will get associated with that, and that's why they took that path. Why that path helped them? It helps in two things. One is brand presence, obviously. Second, acquisition. Now let's try to understand this whole model from a growth perspective, from an acquisition perspective. In India, if I've seen a startup killing it by building a brand and an acquisition channel on YouTube, I have immense respect for what Grow has done. GROWW. I'm sure you guys know that. Grow has created a very strong YouTube channel promoting financial literacy, and it is cracking two things by it. One is obviously you are awareing people about mutual funds, about stocks, and everything. And the second part is you are building the brand recall inside that particular person, whosoever is watching. The third is you are also getting acquisition by app installs via that. So video marketing is not just something that needs to be done because to look cool or creative. It is a proper acquisition channel. Now let's jump into this fact, which is what creates more shareability. Because after this only you will take into consideration कि मुझे किस type के videos बनाने चाहिए. The biggest factor, the biggest emotion we see behind any shareable content is relatability. You have an audience. You have to bifurcate that audience. Now let's say you are a Dunzo. Now your audience category is way big. Like an 18 to 24 is also your audience in tier 1, and your 25 to 35 is also an audience. But what is relatable to a 25 to 35 in Bangalore is very different than what is relatable to a 25 to 35 in Bombay. In fact, in Mumbai also, the South Bombay concept is very different than a North Bombay. Now, you will first choose for whom I'm making the content, and then only you will decide that for whom I'm making the relatable content. Now, relatability works on audience size. For an example, let's say you want to create a content on football. Now, if you do a simple check, if you go to Facebook Audience Insight, the tool, and if you check that how many football fans are in India, you will maybe if you see 20 million. Now you have a clear cut answer that your target cannot be beyond 20 million because total log hi utne hain. Now you may come to a conclusion that hey, 20 million ka half I may acquire, which is 10 million, but that will give you one the realistic aspect to go beyond, to go after, which also means that if tomorrow you are thinking that hey, I will do a content uh, where Backstreet Boys, I will create a content where we are talking about Backstreet Boys songs that people recall. You have to go and check that how many Backstreet Boys fans are there, because you cannot just assume by sitting on the bed and thinking that hey, sabne suna hoga because I have heard. uh, Linkin Park could be very famous. Arijit Singh could be very famous, but the blunder you can ever do is by considering that everyone understands an Arijit Singh or knows an Arijit Singh because you think they understand. So you have to do that research, and that research will tell you the relatability bracket and the audience size that you can target. That is one. The second emotion that gets a lot of sharing that we have seen is inspirational. Any content that is inspirational, uh, any content that is motivational gets more and more shares. And that is why on Twitter, every Monday you have a Monday motivation, every Friday you have Friday motivation, and whatsoever. Now the point is, uh, people like to get motivated, and that's why LinkedIn is, I mean, unforgivingly famous, or whatever you can say, that any content people just take it on LinkedIn, and if you convert that content uh, into what you say a motivational kind of a story, quickly you will see that you are getting more shares. Quickly you will see that you are getting more comments, because let's be very honest, everyone wants to get inspired. Now it depends on who is inspiring the other person. That's a whole different topic. So if you are doing inspiring content, it will get more and more shares. And by the way, that is the reason, if anyone of you has seen the Nike ad, where when Nike launched that ad about when the black campaign, the thing was happening, and Nike launched this great ad, mujhe naam nahi yaad aa raha hai the campaign's name. If anyone remembers, you can guys can
Black
drop
Lives
it in the
Matter.
comments. uh, Sorry, Black Lives Matter. No. That was the thing happening. But Nike launched a campaign that said "We are in this together" or something. I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
Which was a very motivating campaign. That okay, things are happening, things are screwed, but we will become better. The same campaign, by the way, similar campaign today, Dunzo has launched. It's it's an animated campaign. Uh, is someone saying something? Yes, compilation of all games. Shubham, you are right. Actually, I don't remember the name. You can
You
research later.
can't stop us.
You can't stop us. Yeah. Exactly. Uh, j- I think if any one of you has never heard about it, what I would suggest is go and check, and then you will come to realize that why it got more shares, because people wanted inspiration. So any brand that could take that space will win. And ऐसा नहीं है कि no brand can take the space. Any brand can just come up and find that factor and just create content around it.
Yeah, I,
So
I
the
like that personally because it was so beautifully edited.
yeah
That was the catch for me. there.
Yeah, that was actually from a technical perspective, it was beautifully edited.
Yeah,
But from an audience perspective, this is what we generally check when it comes to
correct.
content. Is The content should be very simple. The content should have one narrative. Like exactly in the advertising, you say that what is your single proposition, what is the single minded proposition, what is that one statement that you're trying to make. So whenever you are trying to crack a relatability content, it should be one single liner. I'll give you one example, and it should be very, very crisp. If you guys are into the edtech space, if any one of you are into the marketing edtech space, and you have a course, let's say, which is digital marketing. Now digital marketing is still a broad term. Now digital marketing, there is a course, but that course is meant for someone. Either it is for professionals who already know about digital marketing for 1 year and they want to upskill, or it is for people who are in the postgraduates, or it is for people who are into the undergraduate section. Yes, you can see that it is meant for everyone, but that is not how technically the community building or distribution works. Because again, if I say coffee, now coffee is meant for a coffee lover also, coffee is meant for a normal person also, and coffee is meant for just someone who is a student and jiske exams are the use case is very different, but you have to go for one. Now whenever you choose a relatability sector, like taking example of digital marketing, the moment you decide that, hey, I am pushing the like the course to people who are in MBA, but who are in the first year of MBA, not the final year. Because let's say if you have taken a call as a marketer that final year of MBAs are more sorted, they don't have time because they are running after job, hence they have less time to do a course. If this is your hypothesis, and if you have already locked that it is the first year of MBA, you have to first understand what is the first year of MBA's motivation and the understanding. Now let's say you can only create a campaign about first year of MBA marketing clubs में क्या होता है. The content could only talk about how people have fun in the marketing clubs in the first year of MBA, how they organize fest and everything, and you can like change the whole narrative according to that. Or you can just create a campaign where there is one guy who is trying to understand marketing by applying for a fest ka role. So you have this college fest and there are marketing clubs, and this guy applies for a marketing club, and then your product comes and says that, hey, if you want to become a better marketer in the next college year's fest, take our course or something like that. Now the point that I'm trying to make is, here the narration and the context is super crisp. You know who is gonna be your audience, you know kisko target karna hai. So your targeting is super easy, your context is super relevant, and hence it will get more and more shares. This is one example I gave you. You can just create multiple examples. uh, Coming to the third emotion that we see behind sharing is education. This is not something that is I'm saying I mean, that any one of you doesn't know. But what you need to know, that when I say educational, when you are playing the social media game, you have to play the edutainment game. Because what happens is, the moment you start making a boring video on a Facebook or on a Instagram, so what is the definition of boring? It's very simple. Check the retention graph. The moment your retention graph falls, that means you are boring. That's it, simple. So if so right now we have how many people? We have 24 people, or I can't see, but let's say 24 people, and let's say 40 people joined when this session started. If 50% people drop off, then the fault is on me. I am boring, that's it. So now this is also educational, but the higher retention is doesn't depend on education, it depends on edutainment. Now edutainment banane ke liye, you don't have to add mirch masala, you have to uh, make your conduct very entertaining, you have to bring visuals or anything like that. That is why Neil Patel video has a lot of flashy graphics. That is why he puts a smile on his face. That is why he puts a white shirt, because white represents a little more charming kind of a personality. And by the way, education doesn't mean serious stuff. If you are putting out cooking videos ki how to make a dhokla, that is also education. If you are putting out a video about DIY crafts, ki how to use a broomstick to create an art, is also kind of education. So this is the game that you can play. Or the last biggest emotion behind sharing is humor. Now, this is not something that you guys don't know, but this is very, very relevant and evident for basic reason, which is the motivation to launch the social media app. Just
because you haven't validated them.
so just try to ask yourself your,
Just a second.
I guess,
Can you mute yourself?
can you, yeah, I guess we,
Just a sec. Just a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
we are good, no problem, no problem, I understand this. uh so so uh so if we ask ourselves that why do we launch a Facebook app, because see, let's be very honest, आप performance marketer हो सकते हो, you could be a social media marketer or anything. Imagine what if tomorrow the app launches or the DAUs or the MAUs of Facebook falls. You cannot do anything, right? Because the whole advertising ecosystem is very much dependent on the product manager sitting inside the HQ of a social media app. You can't do anything unless and until you have your owned media. Now this is a very interesting thing, which is your performance is directly correlated with the algorithm performance and obviously the DAUs also. That is why what I do personally is I try to see the retention of that app itself. So I try to see Facebook average retention in India is how much. Now I do all sorts of tricks, checking out all sorts of websites, asking a bunch of people that, hey, if you have that insight or not. But the point is, if Facebook in India by default has a 4-minute retention, you cannot expect putting out a 20-minute video. Then that's a wrong strategy, uh, because people are only using Facebook for 4 minutes. So these are the very contextual, very logical stuff that we need to. I don't know how many marketers still do that, but we need to do all of these. And the reason I'm trying to mention this is people don't launch an app like Facebook or Instagram to learn something. There are two generic motivations to launch these apps. Either one, you have to connect with your friends and family for networking purpose, for messaging purpose or something, or to consume content. So when I say consume content, you are not going to Facebook to become sad. You are going to Facebook to entertain yourself. You are getting bored, that's why you launched the Facebook app. And just because you are getting bored, if Facebook starts pushing you humorous content, you will get more laugh, and hence it keeps on going, keeps on going, keeps on going. And that is the reason the comedy sector has grown tremendously since last 5 years. Because and I have this thesis: the upper middle class section in India, not lower, the upper and higher, which is the significant section in India, is a corporate startup working section, and is also in some or the other way is a depressed section in some or the other way. The rate of workforce, the rate of depression goes high, stand-up comedians will do better. There will be more and more stand-up comics. The category will just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. And that is why the humor section is very, very big. If you are a brand, if you start creating humorous content, you will do much, much better than a very dry-ish content. Now, till here, what we just started to understand the emotions that goes behind sharing. And if you know these emotions, now you can ask yourself that, hey, yesterday was Friday, I guess. Yeah, I have lost the time. So yeah, yesterday was Friday, and if you are a marketer, just go and ask yourself that why your content is not performing on social media. And if this is the question that you keep on asking every time, uh, just go and see your content and ask yourself, would you share that content? Because and if that is the sentence framing, and then ask, why will I not share this content? You will get a lot of answers inside that, because that content is not shareable. Simple. Just understand your pattern, and you will see a lot of patterns emerging out of it. Now, since we're talking about patterns, let's talk about metrics that matters when we are creating this content. You can do this content on YouTube or a social media marketing, or also a performance marketing ad. By the way, I personally, whenever I run an ad which is purely performance based, first of all, I try to go the video way and not the image way. and I check cost per shares of that video, because I personally believe that ads have also a very solid potential to get shared. And the best example I can give is the Cred app, the Cred videos. Why are you guys sharing it? I mean, you guys, some of the people may have uh, an opposing opinion, but the moment you share it, they got one share, they got one impression into whatever followers you guys have. And that is the whole objective, right? The whole objective is cracking one old metric that Facebook had, which is PTAT, people talking about us, which is not there right now. But the whole objective is to that people are talking about us. Now, interestingly, Kunal Shah was giving a talk in the Tech Sparks day before yesterday or yesterday, I don't remember. I was checking that, and he said the exact same thing, that I don't have a problem when people are saying that, hey, aapka ad is against marketing, there is no right messaging or something like that. Now he says this, and I quote, that I will be terrified if no one is talking about me. So my goal is people are until people are talking about me, and that is not something that ki ban Cred, which is extreme sentiment, I'm okay. So generally shares are always either in an agreement or a disagreement. So if you disagree with someone, you will share that content and give 50 galis. If you agree with that content, then you will add something and you will share. There is no other sentiment in between. And if there is in between sentiment, it will never get any shares. And that is the same reason on LinkedIn, IIMs versus non-IIMs concept work, because it creates polarization. Hence, you get a lot of comments. I won't comment that it is the right way or wrong way, but that's how the humans behave. Now, coming to metrics, there are basically two metrics generally to check inside the video. One is, of course, videos, a no-brainer. But just to keep this, just to give you this whole perspective that every social media has a different logic of view count. I recently came to know that LinkedIn has a 3 second view count also. I don't know why they did 3 second, because I hate 3 second view logic. Facebook has a 3 second view logic. YouTube has a weird, like very mysterious 30 second view logic. Netflix has hidden the view logic, but as far as I know from internal sources, I guess someone told me 1 minute to a 2 minute counts as one view. And obviously they don't show the view publicly, but this is what the view logic is, I guess. I can be absolutely wrong. This is just internal sources that some friends of mine share. So one is views, obviously you check. Second is video retention. Exactly how you check your product retention, exactly how you check your app retention, exactly how you check any retention. Your video also has a retention, because imagine yourself going to a Salman Khan movie, watching it for 5 minutes, and then running away from that theater. Now that this is a different call if that Salman Khan's internal North Star metric is box office sales, which it is. You have given him the sales, so he is already a winner. But he sucks at retention. If people left, then the story itself is boring. So the idea is not just to create content, but to have maximum people sticking till the end. And the same idea works on podcast, the same idea works on audio, the same idea works on anything and everything. So if you are doing 1 hour podcast and uploading it on Spotify, and if you have no understanding that how many people are watching till the end, then 1 घंटा क्यों record कर रहे हो? I mean, if I'm not getting the data, first is I'm not getting the data. Second is, if I'm getting the data, and the data tells me that people are dropping off after 15 minutes, then why the hell am I creating for 1 hour? Just shut it down. Interestingly, yesterday someone, Sajit Pai, I guess, yeah, Bloom Ventures VC or something. I can be wrong if I'm quoting a name wrong, but he shared on Instagram, quoting Andreessen Horowitz, saying that we see that the average retention of audio podcast is half an hour. So never ever go beyond half an hour. What I have seen, it is 20 minutes. So I have talked to people who are in the audio industry, and I've heard that 20 minutes is the maximum that people listen on the podcast. And that's it. That's it. You have to check the retention. Now let's go again a deep dive into the retention, and just to give you a perspective how we read retention. And This is not something that I'm not from different space, right? If you are running your ads as well, if that is a video, generally what we check cost per click, we check cost per unique clicks, we check landing page clicks, bounce rates in Google Analytics. What we don't ask is why the hell I paid the production company to make a 2-minute video, why I never made a 1-minute video. These are very logical questions. What is happening in the 2-minute video? Are people watching the 2-minute video? And to understand that, you have to check your retention inside the panel to see that what is happening inside the video. Are people really watching it or not, or just clicking on the on my ad and just doing anything that they want? The moment you start seeing it, you will see a very interesting pattern, and this is what I have seen. Whenever you do a 20-second ad for an app install campaign, and if you see a 2-second, like the average retention is, let's say, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I have seen these very drastic numbers, by the way, for other clients, for other people that have worked, consulted in between. The moment you see 3 seconds, if you map that user's journey, you will see that is the user who uninstalled your app in the second day. So then you have a clear-cut scenario. If the user installed the ad after D1, he uninstalled, then for sure that user either made an impulsive decision because he only saw the ad for 3 seconds, or for the first 3 seconds, your ad set a very wrong precedence. Generally, what happens, if your ad is showing something very big, you are promising some wonderland or something, and the reality is a very shitty stuff. Like your ad shows glossy app, which is very sophisticated and great. And if you launch the app and if the app sucks, then people will just drop off, because the reality versus expectations versus reality delta is super duper high. And to do that, you have to judge the retention. Let me just tell you how we judge the retention. These are basic funnels, but there are more structures as well. The first one, you can see a green line flat. The flat basically means that people are watching your video from the start till the end. The second one is a gradual decline, which means that people are watching, but they're losing interest over time. Now, in between the two graphs, what is interesting is the first graph is something that you will never ever find in your life. If you ever find in your life, then you are great and your company is great. Never ever leave that company. It's a very rare case scenario, the first graph. Second graph is a very basic scenario, generally happens, but also rare. And if I am the guy, I would at least try to have a gradual decline versus the last graph. If you check the last graph looks like an L curve, which means that people watched for 5 seconds and then dropped off, which means इसमें दो गड़बड़ है. या तो आपका ad is targeting the wrong audience, that is one, or your ad 5 seconds is so boring, so boring that no one is watching. That is so, and hence you check what is happening inside that thing. Now let's look at the third graph and the fourth graph. Here is an interesting pattern that some graphs you will see there are bumps inside the graph. That bumps represent people rewatching. So how these bumps happen? So you are watching YouTube. Now imagine this is the screen. You are watching YouTube. The play button is on. You are not clicking anything, and you are just watching. So it's a flat graph. You stop the cursor somewhere and you just like scroll back. That's where the bump happened, because a lot of people are like rewatching. Now, what are the stuff that you rewatch? You ask yourself. Generally, if there is a great dialogue that came inside, if there is a great scene that came inside, if Kunal Shah said something which is out of your that went out of your mind, very very philosophical, you will again go back and hence he will see a bump. So bumps are good, by the way. Also bumps are also seen when you share. So what happens is, if you are watching, then at 1.5 second, or let's say 1 minute 5 second, if you shared your video with someone else, YouTube will show a bump, and hence you know कि मेरा video लोगों ने क्यों share किया. Because if you move that cursor, watch what was happening inside that whole video, you will know the reason of sharing also. So these are the insights that you can draw out of the bumps. Dips means people are just simply skipping. What generally in whatever videos that I have seen, generally dips I have seen when there is a long shot, like like the like the shot is super duper boring. It's keeping on going, or there is a song. Generally, people have a tendency to skip over the songs. Generally, the skip happen there. Or if there is a product integration that is on your face, like you're watching great stuff of Bhuvan Bam, and then some ad came, Bhuvan Bam ne khud kaha that play Dream 11 IPL and build your own team. People just skip that part. I'm using Dream 11 IPL by, as a context. किसी का कोई दोस्त है तो कुछ बोल मत देना. I'm just using it as an example. So yeah, these are the dips logic, and by checking all these dips and bumps, you can understand and you can take better calls next time, that I should make my video shorter, I should remove these sequences, I should make my brand integration much more subtle or not. So yeah, this was all about retention till now, and the whole objective is actually to keep the first 15 seconds graph flat. Because see, just try to understand one thing as a marketer also. Imagine yourself being a salesperson, going on the roads and saying, "Bhaiya, sunoge," or "Hey man, I just want 1 minute of yours." This is how sales guy generally pitch when they are noobs. And let's say if the guy says, "No, I don't have time," which means you engage with the guy for 3 seconds and he left. The second better type of a technique is, at least you're having a conversation for 15 seconds. Uske baad he left, that's a different case. But at least you had a conversation for 15 seconds, right? Small talks basically. Now your objective is actually to have small talks with your audience when it comes to the video concept. Because if you're not having, then either you are a bad communicator, you suck, and any marketer, either performance or any great into analytics, if you say that, hey, I'm not a good communicator, I don't understand content, you are not a marketer. Because see, and this is a problem that I have with the marketing community, which is, it was secluded before, but right now it's not secluded. The lines are getting blurred. Social media guy understands analytics, performance guy understands content. Because the problem is that after 5 years you have to become the head of marketing. I guess that's your motive. You have to become the CMO, and the CMO can't say that, hey, I only understand biddable ad, CPC, I don't understand content, I don't understand influencer marketing and stuff. Hence we have to stop being ignorant. I was ignorant 2 years back, but I still see a lot of people being ignorant, and hence we have to understand these new age concepts of marketing. Another example, audio marketing. None of us has any idea. We don't know how to run ads on savan.com and what ROI it generates. We don't know how to integrate a product with an YouTuber and what is the ROI it will generate. Half of us, like I had no idea about YouTube discovery ads. Should I do a YouTube discovery ad, or should I do a YouTube bumper ad, or should I do a YouTube in-skippable ad or a skippable ad? These are the formats we were never taught also, because the only formats we were taught was search ads and max to max Google Display Network, GDN, and your Facebook. But we have to go beyond that. And why are we creating videos? We are creating videos because the objective of the video is, again, I told you at the first go, is to build a distribution unit. We are building distribution. Grow is not creating content on YouTube क्योंकि उसको मजा आ रहा है, or they want to look cool. They are creating on YouTube because that is a distribution unit. Now imagine that distribution is coming for free. Imagine Grow having 5 million subscribers, and they have some new fintech service coming up. They can easily upload a fintech service ka video, upload it on their YouTube without any cost. They will get maybe 1 million views, and bang on, you have a free car distribution ready made. You don't have to pump in money. Because let's be honest, hamare budgets every year will keep on going down, and every time you have to fight with the finance team for your budget, and the ad CPMs will keep on increasing. Hence we are building this distribution unit, and we will be talking about I'll be sharing some insights at the last, that why videos, why not pictures, creating distribution unit. But before that, let me just show you how a good distribution looks like. Now this is distribution from a social media angle, that if you upload a video on YouTube, if you upload a video on Facebook, generally what are the sources of traffic that that video can have, and this is the right mix of traffic that actually, if you have, is great. And if by any chance you don't know these jargons, you can Google it later. You can just take a note of it. There is no problem in that. It's not rocket science. The first highest source of traffic is suggested videos. Suggested videos are nothing but when you watch, let's say, Tanmay Bhatt, and YouTube suggests you to watch BB Vines. The BB Vines is a suggested video. If you click on that, BB Vines analytics will get one view. So suggested video se maximum traffic aata hai. The second maximum traffic comes from YouTube search. To crack YouTube search, you have to understand YouTube SEO, and YouTube SEO is 70% exactly equal to your Google SEO. If you have nailed Google SEO, then YouTube SEO is like little better to understand. But here backlinking, forward linking, these all stuff doesn't work. It's a very different world altogether. So if you want to learn YouTube SEO, the best source I have ever come across is Backlinko, the Brian Dean's YouTube site. So you can see there. The third is browse feature. Browse feature is nothing but browse feature is for big channels, which is basically if you have a good subscriber and YouTube pushes your content to those subscribers, and if they view that content, it comes in the browse feature analytics tab. And the external tab is nothing but the external traffic. You are putting out an Insta story. If you swipe up, it takes to the YouTube video. Hence, your external channels ka traffic yahan pe aata hai. And then you have something called as channel pages. Channel pages are nothing but other channel promoting your channel. Now, just another strategy. I'm just saying. Let's say if you are launching your coffee brand, you are making coffee like Sleepy Owl. Now, Sleepy Owl has done some great content around coffee. They have created multiple content about how to brew coffee, how to brew cold coffee, hot coffee, how to use French press. These are all education videos. Remember, if you remember about the sentiments. Now, sorry. Now, if you are putting out the coffee on YouTube and you have to promote that YouTube video, one thing which is obvious that any digital marketer के दिमाग में पहला आता है, पैसा है, पैसा लगा दो. It is not, I think, the right way. I was into that mode, but I think Pocket Aces forced me to think that, hey, you have to get organic traffic, think organically, because that is the hardest part to crack. Let's be very honest. So if Sleepy Owl has to promote, it can obviously run Google Ads. That is one. Second, it can do YouTube SEO. That it will not create content according to him. It will start looking for searchable traffic, seeing that what people are actually searching. And let's say if you have people searching what is the difference between espresso and Americano, then the first video that the coffee brand should put out is the difference between espresso and Americano. That is the right way to go after, because you have a lot of pull factor, and hence you have to create content around the pull factor. Channel pages is an interesting. Channel pages comes here that you approach another coffee brand on YouTube, जो आपसे छोटा है या आपके same level पे है. You tell him that, hey bro, there is something called as community tab on YouTube, which is just like a group post. You tell him that, hey bro, this is my video. Put out this video inside your community post, and I will put my video inside my community post. Now that's where you get a channel pages traffic, which means one channel is sending traffic to another channel. So yeah, these are the basic sources type of. This is how a good distribution looks like, and this is how your smart craft strategy will work. And you have to understand YouTube. No marketer without understanding YouTube SEO and how it works cannot ever crack it. I'm just trying to give you a basic concept. These are the three Chrome extensions that I would suggest if you guys want to go into the YouTube game. These are the mandatory Chrome extensions that you should have. One is vidIQ, one is TubeBuddy, one is what is it? Keywords Everywhere. Yeah, these are 3 Chrome extensions which are free. You will get a lot of free features here, but if you want to buy, you can buy. Generally, if you are not a big creator with 50 million subscribers, you won't need a paid model here. And let me give you a very basic understanding about the tagging structure of YouTube before, so that you can बाद में जाके flaunt कर सकते हो कि actually मैं कुछ सीखा हुआ है, नहीं तो अभी तक तो basic insights से share कर रहा था. So whenever you upload something on YouTube, exactly like your Google SEO, there are 3 basic factors that YouTube takes into consideration to understand मैं इसको किसको push करूँ. Because as an algorithm, YouTube does not understand what are you speaking inside that video, right? So generally they take three factors into consideration. One is your title of the video, second is a description of the video, and the third is the tags. So exactly like if you're publishing a blog, you will use meta tags to give understanding कि मेरा blog किस बारे में. The same way, the YouTube video, you have to write tags, and this is the ideal tagging structure that I have come across after testing a multiple tagging tags structures and all. And before telling you about the tagging structure, let me tell you the very basic thing. You can put out somewhat around 20 tags, 25 tags, 30 tags, I guess. I don't exactly remember, but YouTube gives more weightage to the first 2 to 3 tags. Now exact context में लेके समझा देता हूँ. Let's say you are making a video about top 3 mutual funds in 2020. Let's say this is the video that you want to put out. Now, what is the first 2 tags that you would use? Some people may say that I will use long tail keyword tag, which is 3 mutual funds, 3 best mutual funds in 2020. Good one. Check if people are actually searching for it or not. So I told you here, keywords everywhere. Now, keywords everywhere will tell you that how many people are actually searching that keyword, exactly like our Google keyword planner, nothing different. Now, choose a very solid keyword that actually represents your video and also has a high search volume, and उसको पहले 2 से 3 slot में उसको दे दो. That is called your primary tag. Then you have something called secondary tag. What is a secondary tag inside that mutual fund? Finance is a secondary tag. How to earn money is a secondary tag. Become rich, secondary tag. मतलब primary tag से थोड़ा vague वाले tags. You guys are already marketeers. You all know what I'm talking about. The third tag is a brand tag. You have a brand name, a no-brainer. If you are a Sleepy Owl coffee, you will use Sleepy Owl. If you are a Grow, you will use Grow. If you are a Cred, you will use Cred. Brand tags. And the last tag should be featured names of the people. Only if you have an influencer inside the whole video, then only you will use their names. Like for an example, if your video ke andar you have a Kunal Shah, then you will use Kunal Shah's name in the tags. But if you have someone who is not famous enough, then you will not use the names inside the tags because obviously it doesn't make sense. So this is the ideal tagging structure on YouTube. And I have the last piece to share before sharing some insights and taking questions, which is so when it comes to video marketing from an acquisition perspective or from a distribution perspective, there are basically 4A structure model that generally I have used. Here mera hi structure hai. This is not shared by some Philip Kotler or some big guy. This is basic stuff that I do myself. The first is aware, second is adjust, acquire, attribute, nothing different than a performance marketing thing. In the first go, you create videos to make the other person aware. You check the retention to see log tumhare video dekh rahe hain ya nahi dekh rahe hain. If you see the retention is low, you adjust the video. You take down the video, delete the ad, edit the video, upload it, then see what is the retention. Retention is little better. It can be better. Delete the video, again download, again edit the ad, again re-upload, again run. Keep on doing until and unless you at least have a 30% to a 40% retention. Because 2 minute का वीडियो में से 1 मिनट तक कोई अगर नहीं देख रहा है तो वीडियो बनाने का कोई पॉइंट नहीं है. Better do image ads. Generally the best case retention I have seen till now is max to a 70%, which on Filter Copy and Dice Media obviously I have seen this, and the lowest I have seen this at least on my channel and other channels is a 40 to a 45%. I think it should not go beyond that, below that. Agar niche gaya hua hai, then hold responsible to the whole content creation team and the marketing team. So that is the adjust part. And the third part is acquire. Obviously you go ahead and you are acquiring people because this is an attribution campaign, and then you attribute that which edit was the best edit and gave you the maximum ROI. And since you are using these videos to run Facebook, Insta, Twitter, maybe Google, maybe on YouTube, you have to attribute which video is giving you the maximum ROI and track the whole user journey. Whatever is giving you the maximum ROI, just stick to it. This is the basic model. But I have one framework to share, which I used and it worked great for me. If it works great for you, please hit me up on LinkedIn or make a UGC content. I'll be more than happy. And this is a framework actually. So this framework works like this basically. Don't call it some growth hack or something. I have started hating that word. I used to love it, but now I've started hating that word in the lockdown. So here is a difference actually. Let's say you have a 2 to 3 minute video. Generally what we do is वो video को हम लेते हैं, we create a Facebook campaign and we directly upload that video inside that campaign, right? Versus uploading it on social media and then doing that. This is the generic model that we do. I'm talking about a very different model, which is download the 2 to 3 minute video that you have made, which is the ad that you have made, but do not run an ad. Do not create a campaign. Upload that video on a Facebook or on an Instagram. Upload it, right? After uploading, go to your Facebook Ads Manager, create a campaign, but the campaign objective should be post engagement, not traffic. If you guys are getting restless thinking that, hey, मुझे तो app promotion करना था, okay, आएगा उस पे आएगा, but forget that you are running an app promotion campaign. We will be reaching to that. Now, do a post engagement campaign, put out a great ad set or multiple ad sets if you want to test, and then where you write create ads, you have to just choose existing post and choose the existing post. Now let the video run for some days, 3 to 5 days. But here is the trick. You have to optimize the video for 3 metrics that I've shared: retention, comments, shares. Not link click, not like fikes or anything. And by the way, you will get all these 3 metric on your dashboard panel as well, on the ads dashboard panel. Check cost per comments, cost per shares, and cost per retention. Sorry, cost per comments and cost per shares. Facebook will not tell you what is the cost per share, but you can easily divide the amount spent divided by your shares. You will get the cost per shares. And then you can take a call that, hey, if my cost per share is, let's say, 10 rupees, then you can take a call that if I increase my money by 2x, then I will get 2 times shares, which means that people are sharing my ad, which means that my cost actually bacha raha hu. Because as I told you, that people are acting on your behalf. And when one person shares your content, the reach amplifies to 5x because वो अपना audience तक reach पहुंच जा रहा है, right? So optimize for this. After you do that, make sure the audience pool of the viewer is big enough, like 1 lakh plus. After you do that, go to the audience section and create a custom audience of people who watched more than 50% of the video. Now what happened? We created an ad. We made people aware of the ad of a brand. We created a custom audience that have watched 50% of that ad. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? I now have at least a 50,000 or a 1 lakh people who are very strong aware about my video. Then you start running an additional ad, which is a user acquisition campaign, retargeting that existing audience. That's it. Now here you some questions may raise that, hey, if my audience pool is very small, my cost will rise. Yes, your cost will rise. That's why I told you that you have to make sure the audience pool is big enough, beyond 1 lakh. If you don't have that kind of money, don't do this. Second disclaimer, this is not some hack. This is the same thing that advertising industry already does. You have a series of ads, right? Let's say you are bringing out a new game in the market. You don't go and tell that, hey, download my game. The first thing you go and tell people, the first set of ads for the 15 days is an awareness campaign where you say that, hey, this is my game and this is how the game works. After that, you start going and tell them, hey, play my game. But generally what we do generally in the startup profession is we directly start off with the ad thinking that people already know my brand, but people don't know your brand. Any fintech company who is trying to sell any financial product which is for Gen Y or Gen Z, if you are running an ad that says that buy my card because it is meant for Gen Z, you are in the wrong foot क्योंकि Gen Z को पता नहीं है कि मुझे क्रेडिट कार्ड क्यों चाहिए. आपका कंपनी तो बात की बात है, पहले उसको financially literate बनाना पड़ेगा and then only you can push your product. So the right way I would at least suggest them, if they ever ask me, is for a 1 month I should at least go and aware them that, hey, why do you need a card even? मैं बहुत बाद में आऊंगा. I would first tell them that why would you need a card, and then I will come into the picture and say that, hey, this is why you need the card, and if you buy my card, then I will give you the justice. So it's the exact same model that we're following here, not something different or rocket science. So yeah, this is all that I had to share. And always remember, again repeating, acquisition with high retention is the key, because we know how to get good app installs, and then after 5 days we look at the dashboard and we start writing Twitter tweets that mera D7 retention is fucked up, how do I fix it? And then you start looking for activation tricks, and then you activate by sending a push notification, get higher push notification, फिर से नीचे गया, and then you keep on fighting this battle, which is not a very good space to be in every time and anytime. So yeah, these are all stuff that I had to share till now.
Thanks a lot, Sindhu. Like, this was really informative. I thought of just I had a thought in between that I should say that, okay, we are exceeding the time limit. But then I was like, okay, no, let it go along.
What is the time? How much did I speak, by the way? Oh, 1 hour. 1 hour, 10 minutes. Okay, great.
No worries. It's totally fine. I personally enjoyed it a lot. So really informative stuff. And especially, I like the part, I like a couple of sections wherein, especially this recent section where you mentioned that I'm like now done with the word growth hack. Believe me, I'm in your team. Please. This is something, and especially I believe that LinkedIn is one of those things which is making it go.
LinkedIn is the only thing that is making.
Exactly. All right. So yeah, guys, so we are now opening up the Q&A session. So what you can do, either you can just unmute yourself, or if you feel like shooting it in the comments, this chat section, you can do that as well. Okay, so I'll take it for you. Okay, best thing is he talked for 1 hour,
Yeah.
100% retention. I would say few people, like when he started, it was 25. Now we are 27. All
Which
right.
is good.
Chalo. Sindhu, I'll start off the Q&A session. I have a couple of questions, very basic ones. So first of all, you talked about what are the ingredients of a successful video. Okay, but I have this thing that I have seen that multiple brands just try in being into this video space just because they feel that it's the buzz thing. It's something that everyone is doing, their competitors are doing, and hence it makes sense for them to do it, and they end up heavily investing. At the same time, resources are done, few people are engaged in this, and a lot of thing goes for a toss. So what's your take on this? What's your thought on this?
Okay, there are two perspectives to this. One is creating video, one is creating distribution.
Okay.
So let me talk about, let's say for an example, a new channel that I'm building, Nutshell. So which is a sister concern of Filter Copy, or let's say Filter Copy. चलो ले ही लेते हैं, ठीक है? Now Filter Copy publishes memes on Instagram. You cannot earn money from memes, right? Like okay, I do understand meme marketing is a model that is going around, but that is an agency marketing model. But memes will not generate money. So you use memes to build your Instagram channel, to build your distribution, because the sole motive is not to promote memes. Memes are a zaria to build your distribution model. When you have that very high, super solid distribution, then you bring your own product. The product is original video, and then you start pumping it. That is the model. For brands, either brand is trying to solve the distribution. Like for an example, let's take Cred, a very interesting stuff I saw. They are trying to actively build the YouTube game. And why I'm telling this is my intuition. Why? They had a series of ads. Now they know that I don't have an own distribution medium जहाँ पे मैं ads को push कर सकता हूँ. So obvious thing that any brand does, they will put out the ads, they will put out the video on YouTube, they will run promotions. Now they did that 5 series thing, na, your Daler Mehendi and all. They got a lot of subscribers. Now they have somewhat around 8,000 or 10,000 subscribers. Now Kunal Shah thought that, hey, I can now bring original content which is Cred Curious, which is a conversation with Nitin Kamath, which is a conversation with Anand Gandhi and all. But before Nitin Kamath, Cred Curious happened with your Tinder product head, but that was not on YouTube. That happened on live.
Yeah.
So now let's twist the whole game. Let's say Cred never had subscribers, which means you don't have distribution. and you uploaded the first video,
Yeah.
who will watch? You don't have distribution. So you have to take an active call that what are you doing, and it's okay not to have your distribution. Then you have to build that video, and then you have to give that video to someone else जिसके पास distribution है. So if I'm a big YouTuber, brand को कोई, when a brand decides ना कि मैं अपने Facebook पे जाके upload करूंगा video, is a very bullshit decision if you don't have. So I'll take one example. Let's say Kotak Mahindra has a very solid Facebook page. Hence they did a video when they collaborated with us, and उन्होंने वहाँ डाला. But they also paid us and said that, hey, this is our video, you guys take and upload because you have distribution. So these are the logical steps that need to be taken.
Understood. Got it. Is someone else going to ask something, or like the slides were so clear that no one has any questions?
I don't think.
Yeah, we have one question. So Ketan is asking, real life videos versus animated explainer videos, which works better for introducing a new innovative product?
Interesting. Ketan, let's do this a very informative, interactive session. Can you unmute yourself? I want to have conversation regarding this.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay. Hey Ketan, hi. Which sector is the product in?
So I am connecting companies with social causes. So it's a service we are providing to NGOs and companies. Because it's
Okay.
a social sector, NGO related.
Okay, and explainer
product-
videos as in what will you?
So to explain our product, we provide a donation widget to e-commerce and online businesses.
Got it.
So to explain that part, how we integrate it.
Got it. So let me share some insights, and this is for everyone actually, that I have seen from an emotion perspective about these particular two things. Your first is your platform. The platform, YouTube or any other platform, there is no demarcation that, hey, we will push real life people and we will not push animated explainer videos. Generally what we have seen is they push anything that has a good storyline inside that and people watches it for a longer time. So it does not depend on the format, it depends on the story that you are saying. So like for an example, TED Ed is the format of telling the same thing that other people talk, but in an animated way. So if you are justifying that fact, which is, it is very, very informative, but also entertaining. So TED Ed went into edutainment zone. If they wanted, they could have stayed like सामने वाले face में जाके, this is how the Renasa works, this is Renasa and all, then it is not evoking an emotion. So if your explainer videos evoke an emotion, I would say that. If not, then the real life videos will work much better. The reason I ask sector, because the sector defines who is your watcher. So if your watcher is rational, if your watcher has a good design understanding, then animated will work. If your watcher is from tier 3, tier 2, does not have solid understanding of designs and all, animation is not the right way to go after. So yeah.
Okay, got your point. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thanks.
Perfect. Is anyone else having some questions? Okay, we have two questions. So
Okay.
Steve wants to ask where to focus on IG or YouTube for videos.
So let me tell this from a product perspective actually. So let's say I am using YT or IG for an acquisition thing. Like tomorrow I'm building my own product and मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है, I cannot do ads, and hence I have to do this. So the obvious thing that any company does is the moment you start entering into the shopping space, fashion space, in fact B2B, the first thing everyone does, which is a very bullshit decision, which is सीधा जाके Instagram account बनाओ, सीधा जाके Facebook account बनाओ, because the reason is we by default think that these are the only mediums to build a brand. Why can I not be anywhere and सीधा start with a podcast? I'm just giving you ideas. I'm not saying podcasts are the right model. Or I will decide that, hey, I will not have my own Instagram at all. The only thing I will do is collaborations. That's it. There are a lot of brands that only does collaborations and nothing else. That is the first thing. Second thing, the moment you do the brand building space, then the right way to do it is if you go by Instagram is short content space. So if you can create short content, अगर आपके पास टीम में capacity is that people have handheld cameras and they can create faster content, then go with IG. If you don't have a good team setup, don't go with YT, because YT needs longer setup, nice story writing, nice editing and all. So one is the production capacities you have. Second is what you can talk. A lot of brand has nothing to talk on YT. Like for an example, if you are a SaaS product, a product like CleverTap can only do product sessions on YT. There is nothing else that you can do. Now that same thing can be done on LinkedIn also. You can create a video and upload on LinkedIn. Why YT? So these are logical calls to take, and that's how you can focus. Let me take the second question.
So, sorry, Sindhu. So basically, I guess there are a lot of questions that have come in. So what you need to do is you need to stick to 60-second rule. Okay.
Okay.
Because,
Okay. Cool.
yeah. So yeah, the next question is from Shubham. He wants to ask how much we should emphasize on Reels content. Interesting. Will it be beneficial in long terms? Long
Yes.
term.
Okay. Since I have 60 seconds,
Go ahead. Take
in 1 month, yeah. So reels are gonna be here, but reels will die out in 1 month. This is my prediction. 1 month max to max 2 month. It will get over cluttered. Abhi tak, if you have not started reels, you are already late in the game. So quickly start reels, because reels will get you more followers and more reach. So you have to emphasize that is one. Second, if you have planned that मैं दिन में एक reel बनाऊंगा and I have IGTV photos to make, my suggestion, don't do anything, just do reels for 1 month, then stop the reels and then initiate something else. Your brand will go at a much faster pace because Instagram itself is pushing reels more. So yeah.
Got it. And I guess Sakshi has another question to add to it, whereas reels where the duration is short, how to factor in retention here?
So reels are not meant for retention. Reels are meant for reach. Now what is happening? Exactly, we are talking about distribution. We are using reels 15 seconds or 30 seconds to get more reach, more followers. Once I have reach and followers, I build the distribution, then I can start promoting my own content by IGTV or by stuff, and I will have higher engagement rate. So reels में retention नहीं देखना है. Reels is a distribution mechanism, an acquisition mechanism for Instagram channel itself. So yeah.
Got it. Okay, so the next question is from Siddharth, and he's asking what kind of content do we build for a NCCS B2C segment for a grocery brand?
What is NCCS? If
I guess
someone can
it's
educate me.
Miss.
So HCCS is the new socio-economic classification criteria.
Okay.
So it used to be called SECs, now it's called NCCS. So it's basically durable ownership and education.
Okay, and so what does the product do? I mean, so when
it's
you're
a
talking
grocery
about
brand. Grocery brand, it's like a supermarket, hypermarket. So it's a low involvement category essentially.
Is it like Big Basket by any chance?
Big Basket online, this is like a brick and mortar.
Okay. So the first thing is, I don't think if you guys are in the brick and mortar completely, then you guys need to have an online presence. Like there is no mandate. I would rather say focus on extreme hyper local targeting, gamification models, like not gamification models like tea stalls mein campaign lagana and all other stuff. You don't need to have an online presence, because that will lead to where, like okay, let's be also honest. There is a problem with cross like brand sharing also. No one watches an ad online and then takes an action offline if there is beach ka jerk. That's why online is a very click friendly model. You watch something, fatafat click. That is why offline ko offline mein rakhna chahiye, online ko online mein rakhna chahiye. This is my understanding at least. So yeah.
And I guess people have started turning themselves and their strategies into omni-channel, and that's why this question arises, wherein okay, every channel should be aligned. But I guess Siddharth, I feel your question was answered, or you have anything else to ask?
No, thank you. We are also going omni-channel soon.
Great.
Perfect.
Just don't create a YouTube. Just don't create any channel. This is a lot of pressure on brands that everyone needs to be on social media. I don't think anyone needs to be on social media.
Perfect. All right. And the next question is from Prashant, and he wants to ask how to promote a business which aims to become distributor. They don't own content. Okay.
What are you distributing? Prashant, can you just unmute and tell me what are you distributing?
Knowledge sessions, webinars.
Okay, got it. And this is distributed on a website or on a social
website,
media?
on a website.
Okay. a tough
We are
thing.
just aggregating webinars. We don't own webinars. We're just aggregating webinars.
Got it, got it. So then here is a this is a
The
this is a
problem,
complete different.
the problem is like if we just do webinars, so then we are conflicting with organizers. If we do some other content, then people will the perception will be that we are promoting some other form of content. But the
I got
content
it. I got it. I got it. See the problem that you are currently is basically you are nothing but you are a backlink for the original webinar. You are just a backlink. So backlinks.
exactly.
So and just because you are a website centric backlink will heavily depend on text SEO, and not any video. So you cannot focus on social media. There is no reason to focus on video at all. Just don't put your head inside. What I would say is if you have a website, let your webinar stay on the homepage, create a blog in the another tab, and just write as many blogs you can to get enough traffic. And someone who is reading a blog, then you can suggest that, hey, if you read about this content, this is a webinar that you should be checking. So that is a very high SEO game. I would suggest play the SEO game.
Thank you. It was very helpful.
Got it. All right. So the next question is from Ayushi. How do you see the short format, 15 to 30-second video space evolving in the next year in India?
So this is actually an interesting question, and it's not just about social media. It also reflects any kind of marketing that you do, because what has happened and we have started seeing is one is platform. Okay, one is platform that you agree, which means if you go to a Netflix, you agreed with Netflix product app that, hey, I will give Netflix 3 hours. When you go to Facebook, you don't agree. So first is a very psychological interesting perspective, which is, what if tomorrow Facebook brings long form films? Would you watch? My understanding is it will be very difficult for them to convince, because psychologically we have agreed. मैं यहाँ जाता हूँ is for quick dopamine hits. So that is one. Hence, one the platform creates a lot of things about the short form market. Short form content, we have always seen, is a shareable content. The chances of sharing a YouTube video is very low versus chances of sharing an Instagram video versus a Facebook video, because it is quick to consume, quick to share. So it will keep on evolving and evolving and evolving, and it looks like it is evolving like crazy in the lockdown space. What is happening alternatively is any brand which is trying to show the ad is fighting with the organic content. Now, what has happened in the lockdown, that a ton of people have become content creators already. Now your real estate slot, wherever you are showing the ad, is still the same. If Facebook was showing 10 content before refresh, it is still 10, but in that 10 your ad is there and your all content creators are there. So every ad is directly fighting with the content creators. And this format is showing me that it will exist at least for now. And our ads that were 1 minute, 2 minutes long, it will now need to go even shorter. So we need to make 30 seconds, 40-second ads.
Got it. All right. So, okay, I was about to say this, but I guess we have the last question as well. So, Ayush wants to ask, what type of content could you suggest for building a D2C consumer tech brand with a single hardware product in hand at present? Product is inclined towards gifting sector. Okay.
Okay, so product is a gift. Okay, product is that I gift to someone, but I will gift tech consumer stuff, right? Is that the question?
Ayush, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. That's okay.
Interesting. So you have a direct clear-cut case that you have one category that you are hitting on, and you are not creating a 360-degree category that मैं सब कुछ gift करूँगा. Then for sure you have, just because tech section is a very big section on YouTube, you have to bank on YouTube. One is, या तो you can build your own YouTube channel where you can create multiple videos about 500 के नीचे क्या gift करनी चाहिए in the tech space, 1000 price point के नीचे क्या करनी चाहिए. You have a ton of content categories to create around. That is one. Or you can say that, hey, I will not create my YouTube channel. I will tie up with all the technical gurus of the world and all of the other stuff and promote it via them by influencer marketing.
Yeah.
What I would say is do both of the things. Have your own channel, put a bunch of videos, tie up with a technical guruji. Whenever technical guruji is promoting a product, there will be a lot of traffic that will come to your YouTube. So when these two things are happening at the same time, you are using influencer for sure, but वहाँ से बहुत सारा traffic आपको long term में फायदा देगा. So this is what I would say. If you have money to invest in, then play this game. But it's a very like cost-consuming industry because you need good lighting, good camera. These videos cannot be made on phone. You need good setup. So if you have the price, then you can do that. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So yeah, this brings us to the end of the session. Thanks a lot, Sindhu, for answering all of the questions. And I guess this was a highly interactive session.